I went on a sad journey, driving for a long time to another state for my mother's funeral. I felt heavy emotions and tiredness in my body. I really needed rest, but I still had 4 more hours of driving. I struggled to keep my eyes open and pushed through the night, feeling more and more tired. Then, in my tired state, I saw something strange. My mother, dressed in her favorite clothes, stood in the middle of the empty road and waved at me. It surprised me and woke me up. Was it just my imagination because I was so sad? I couldn't be sure, but it felt real and vivid. Realizing it wasn't safe to keep driving in that condition, I reluctantly decided to find a nearby hotel to rest. It was 1 a.m. when I arrived at the entrance of the hotel. I was tired and scared as I went inside, hoping to find comfort there. The lobby was dark, and the worn-out carpet created long shadows. As I approached the check-in counter, I noticed a colorful scarf. It stood out in the dim surroundings. Without thinking, I picked it up and felt the soft fabric slip through my fingers. I felt a chill when I recognized the design. It was my mother's scarf. I know it's my mother's scarf because this is the one she gave me when I was a kid. She sewn it with her own hand and gave it to me. I wore it until I grew up and didn't care about it. I felt confused and scared. How could her scarf be in this unknown hotel? Questions filled my mind, but I couldn't find any answers, which made me even more uneasy. I looked around, hoping someone could explain this strange mystery. Driven by fear, I dropped the scarf as if it were burning hot, my hand shaking uncontrollably. I felt a deep sense of dread as I hurriedly left the hotel, desperate to escape its haunting presence. The truth about the scarf overwhelmed me, leaving me breathless and disturbed. The days passed in a blur as I focused on arranging the funeral. The day came when my mother's lifeless body would be shown for a final goodbye at the funeral. I stood frozen, feeling a chill as I looked at my beloved mother's peaceful face. I felt sickened as I saw the same scarf draped over her lifeless body, the scarf I had encountered in that creepy hotel. Fear and disbelief filled my thoughts, mixing with the grief I already felt. How could this be? What dark forces connected my mother's death and that cursed hotel? The line between the living and the dead seemed to blur at that moment, as if something unseen was creating a horrifying symphony. Shaking with fear, I told a few close family members about my unsettling discovery. They were as shocked and terrified as I was. I went to visit my girlfriend, who lives around 9 hours away in the same state. I was planning on visiting her for about 3 days, so I rented a hotel in her city to stay in. I picked out an average hotel because I didn't have enough money for an expensive one. The hotel I picked has rooms outside. After a day of hanging out with my girlfriend, I was dead tired, so I fell asleep almost the instant I went into my room and jumped on the bed. I didn't even have time to take a shower yet because I was just so tired. When I woke up, I thought it was going to be morning already, but when I looked at my watch, it was only 4 a.m. I was about to go back to sleep when I heard a soft knock at my door. I slowly went to the door and looked out through the peephole, but I didn't see anyone. I slowly pushed aside the window curtain to look outside, but there was no one there either. I thought maybe it was just a prank, so I went back to sleep. On the second night, as I finished taking a shower and getting out, I heard a knock again. I went to check, but it was the same as last time. No one was at the door. I thought it was weird. When I turned off the light and was about to go to sleep, I heard a voice coming from outside, asking for help. I turned on the light and went to open the door, but the moment I did, I felt a chill. There was no one there, but my body kept telling me that someone was there. I quickly shut the door and went to bed. A few hours later, I woke up because I heard a strange noise. It was the noise of someone scratching the wall with their nails. It jolted me right up because I realized that the noise was coming from inside the bathroom, and the bathroom door was open. I could have sworn that I closed it when I went to sleep. The moment I moved my body out of instinct, my bed made a creaking sound. That was when the scratching noise in the bathroom suddenly stopped. I listened intently to it, but the only sound I could hear was my heart beating. Then I could hear a humming inside the bathroom. That was when I just snapped and jumped out of bed. I quickly turned on the light and opened the front door. The humming also stopped. I then turned on my phone's flash and slowly went to the bathroom. I was thinking of just sprinting out of there if anything went wrong. When I slowly peeked my head into the bathroom, my heart almost stopped. There was a woman standing there with her back to me. She was just standing there, looking at the wall in front of her. That was when I started hearing the humming sound again, but it was not coming from her. It was coming from my feet. I quickly looked down, and someone was lying down on the ground, just looking at me and humming. Her hair was covering her face, but I could see that her skin was very blue, and she gave off a horrible smell. I was so scared that I just ran out of there and into my car. I called the clerk's reception, and they told me they would send someone to check if anyone was in my room. I drove to my girlfriend and called her, but I didn't want to worry her, so I just told her that I missed her and wanted to talk to her more. In the morning, I checked out of the hotel, and the hotel clerk told me that last night they tried to call me but I didn't pick up. Despite not seeing anyone in my room, they informed me that it smelled awful. I left town early and went back home. I'll never set foot in a hotel again, for the shadows that lurk behind closed doors whisper secrets that only the brave dare to hear. My friends and I decided to go fishing at the ocean. We wanted to have fun and spend a few days over there, so we decided to rent a hotel to stay in. We had a lot of drinks that night, so we were all drunk when we finally called it a night. It was a couple of us, so we decided to rent a big room with 2 beds. Some would sleep on the bed, while others would sleep on the ground. The next morning, I was the first one to wake up, so I went to the bathroom to wash myself. When I got there, I noticed a rotten smell, as if an animal had been dead for a while. I couldn't find the source of the smell, so I quickly washed up and went out to wait for my friends to wake up. One of my friends finally woke up and went to the bathroom. He came out and complained about the smell too. Soon, everyone woke up, and they all complained about the smell. We all went out to the store to buy something, and when we came back, weirdly, the smell was gone. We just shrugged it off and went about our days. At night, we came back to the hotel and went to sleep. In the middle of the night, I woke up because I needed to pee and went to the bathroom. The moment I opened the bathroom door, I was hit with such a horrendous smell that it almost made me throw up. I then slowly went into the bathroom and turned on the light to see where the smell was coming from. I couldn't see anything that would resemble a dead animal or rotten meat, so I went out of the bathroom again and closed the door. The moment I turned away, I saw someone walking in the kitchen in the dark. I turned on the light in the kitchen and saw no one. I listened very intently, but I could hear nothing but the snoring of my friend, who was sleeping next to me. Confused, and I just went back to bed. I was about to breathe a sigh of relief when I heard what sounded like a choking sound near my feet. I thought I was mistaken, but then I heard it again. This time, the choking sound became louder. It scared me so much that I just grabbed the blanket tightly. Then the worst situation happened. I could feel something moving closer and closer to me until it was lying on top of me. I couldn't see what it was because my blanket was covering my face, but I could still hear the choking. To hear the choking sound so up close, I was so scared that my life was actually flashing before my eyes. The moment I felt a hand on my face and tried to squeeze it, I just lost it. I suddenly had the courage to jump out of bed, screaming at the top of my lungs. I accidentally took a glimpse at it, and what I saw I would never forget. A woman with half her face missing was just sitting there, looking at me while eating something. Her eyes were so lifeless that they looked like the eyes of a doll. I just screamed even louder, seeing her like that. I woke up all of my friends. They were so shocked at my screaming that they were all confused for a few seconds and didn't know how to react. I looked, and the woman was gone. I was so shaken up that it took me a while to explain everything. One of my friends checked the bathroom, but there was no one there. We stayed up all night just talking because no one wanted to go back to sleep. The next morning, we called an end to our trip and went back home. It was such a relief when I saw my own house,